Get this thing going, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat box, man. Shout out to you guys. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Yeah, this is your brother, Law Nation. Hey, I told you guys I'm going to try to keep the promise, man. We're going to get this thing going. We're going to talk about Jerry Jones and his belief of this defense. You guys know I'm highly on this defense. I really think this defense is aficionado. I think this defense is everything that we need to have and see out there. And it's a plus. It's always a plus talking about the Cowboys. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Mic check 1 2 3. Yeah, let's get this thing going. We're going to listen to what Jerry Jones have to say. Shout out to the Facebook panel, Jamal Anderson over here live like 95, Ted Mitchell, Stephen Mac 23 on the chat box, KJ Rose. What's up, man? Second place, almost there. X Factor, third place. Got to step it up. Got to hit that button real quick to be in the first place column. But let's get this thing going one way or another. Let's listen to what Jerry Jones have to say.
This summer saying he doesn't want Dak or Zeke to play in the final 2 preseason games. Dak has thrown 2 touchdown passes in the first 2 preseason games, while Zeke has yet to see any game action. Jerry gave the reason why and also offered some high praise for the Cowboys' defense. Let's take a listen.
When you don't have that full front out there, that starting group, then that might make you a little porous, and you wouldn't want to be porous there in preseason with Dak. Of course, I'll leave that up to Jason, but you can rest assured we're going to be sensitive about the risk, injury risk. Well, I think that this is as good a talent as I can ever remember on defense. When I look at our depth, it's young, it's deep, we can keep them fresh relative to the front 7, and all of that really bodes well for as we go from here.
All right, so they was talking about pretty much on Undisputed this morning. They was talking about Jerry Jones, what he's feeling about this defense. He's feeling the same thing I felt, a couple of days ago about, hey, this defense is strong. They have the tenacity to fight upfield. The Chris Richard is changing the mental mindset of everybody. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, calm, and collected. We feeling what we feeling out here, and it is saying, and it speaks volumes of what this team is all about. But neither here nor there, this team still have to perform. They still have to step it up and be up and have everybody flying out to the ball. If not, then we may still see the same issues happening over and over and over and over again. But neither here nor there, we can still get this thing going because this is Jerry Jones' mindset. And when you have Jerry Jones putting into the mix what he think about what Undisputeds have to say, it means and speaks volumes. But let's keep on going.
Well, it's a good thing we have former Cowboys defensive coordinator here, Rob Ryan. So
we need help.
help us figure this out if you are buying Jerry's praise for the defense.
Well, you gotta love Jerry. I mean, he's an eternal optimist. The thing is, he forgets. I mean, he had Super Bowl defenses that had, Hall of Fame players all over it.
Right.
And,
well, does he forget, or does he really believe this?
No,
I don't know.
I think he's excited about his young group. When I was there, we had all pros all over that defense, and we were up to 3rd in the league, and then lost everybody, finished like 13th or whatever, and got fired for it. So they better be good if he's going to make this statement. And the thing I like about what they've done, they've added Chris Richard, who's an outstanding coach, great teacher, and Ben Bloom, who's just been waiting for his opportunity, who's a multiple guy. And I think they need some multiplicity on that defense, especially to compete against an Alex Smith, who has seen every trick in the book.
Yes.
He's going to make that team a lot better in Washington. I really believe that. And then, obviously, the Giants have added more players than anybody on offense, because they get their entire receiving core back. They get the great running back. They've added an offensive line for the first time in God knows how long, and the guard, 2 guards. So I think this league's going to be good. And of course, that's forgetting to mention, the Super Bowl team. So that's this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough order. I think, I love him being optimistic about his team. I worry a little bit about Elliott not playing at all.
At all.
Right. But it's cool.
Tomlinson did that before, and it took him a little bit to get going, until half. Then we were playing against him. We started rolling, but I just think I understand holding them back. That offensive line's a little banged up.
Right.
That's the one thing they better keep healthy, is that offensive line. And
let's talk about the offensive line, the depth purposes of this offensive line, and what Coach Rod is talking about. Rob, whatever his last name is, I forgot his name. Rob Ryan. What he's talking about as far as his depth purposes. Injuries is a part of the game. I talked about this at loud volumes yesterday actually, and the day before that too as well. This is the thing. When we try to play safe, sometimes it can come back and bite us. Dak Prescott is still a young quarterback, meaning that when Eli Manning was in his younger stage, the coach staff, Tom Coughlin, how you say this man's name too as well. I'm just murdering everybody's name. They used to still play him for all 4 of the preseason games. And to me, if I can remember, I don't know when the last time Eli Manning was hurt. And they had a porous offensive line when he was playing at that times too as well. So what we have to do is recognition, zone plays and things like that, picking up blitz, finding your high reads. Those are things that come through repetitions. And with that being said, with Jerry Jones saying, okay, we don't want to put Dak Prescott out there, it speaks volumes of what he really think about Dak Prescott. Meaning that, whether or not this team can win a game without Dak Prescott, or whether or not this team can just be formidable with Dak Prescott. So it's one of those things, like a conundrum, basically. So neither here nor there, we had to figure out something.
And I do like the depth on their defense.
Okay, so what do you see? Like grade it, rank it. What do you see? What's the ceiling for this defense? Yeah. What is it to you?
I like Will McClay as you do. I think he's done a great job of assembling talented kids. The thing is, though, that I don't see the surefire guy besides, the great linebacker, Sean Lee, and then Lawrence.
Yeah.
But the others are still untested.
Right.
And
right.
So when you have untested guys, that's potential boom or bust. And more times in the NFL, it's bust. So I'm not sold on him yet. And I think anytime you take 2 amazing football players away from your offense, it's going to hurt the team. And I'm not as high on Dallas this year as I was last year.
Really?
Well, I said, and I hate comparison, Skip, when you take a team that's won Super Bowls, no matter what you think of them, if they won the Super Bowl, obviously they had to be pretty good. You talked about talent-wise with those defenses, Skip, they were loaded.
Oh, yeah.
And they could run. They were a physical team too. And they rolled deep. They weren't so much young, but when you went to that D line with Tolbert and Haley and Maryland and Lett and Casillas, and they just kept coming.
Hey, and trust me, Jimmy Johnson could coach him some defense.
Yeah,
that's what he was.
That's what he did.
Yeah,
And
Jimmy
then
Johnson.
you had Deion. They could double the number 1 receiver, so they could take Jerry away.
Yeah.
They take Deion and put him on the number 2 receiver. He was getting nothing, and now they start hunting.
Right.
Jerry, you've been around in a 4-year span. You had 3 teams to win the Super Bowl in convincing fashion, and you're gonna sit here and talk about an unproven. Look at where you finished last year. I need to see a bigger body.
I'll tell you what, they finished a lot higher than they actually were, because the last 3 weeks of the season they were done. But then they're playing teams that didn't care.
Yeah.
Or have guys that they're resting or whatever, or fourth-team quarterbacks. So I mean, I don't think they were as good as the numbers say they were, and it'll be interesting this year to see how they do, as a group, because I do like the additions they've made in the coaching staff. But again, the proof's in the pudding. These players make plays, not the coaches.
Rob, you're killing me.
I'm sorry.
He is.
I'm telling the
Killing me
truth.
with
In my
truth.
opinion, in my humble opinion, and,
Yeah.
and I've been on the sideline.
Everything that comes out of that mouth, I take to my bank.
Yeah.
And I'm taking
It hurt
to
him to
my
say
bank.
that too.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That is true.
I'm a Jones fan. I'm a
Even
Jerry
though
Jones fan and Stephen Jones.
He ran you out of there, but you still believe in him as a guy.
And the family. I mean, look,
I know.
Stephen
I got
Jones
it.
is great
Okay.
too. Yeah.
All right. So, I still believe that Jerry truly believes that this defense is loaded with young talent. I believe that.
Oh, I believe it.
I
believe
believe
that
he
too.
sees young on the verge talent 2 and 3 deep at every defensive position. I believe that. Now, does that mean it's true? No, because as you point out, when they're on the verge, the odds in the NFL are you're going to miss. Like if you look like you could be, then usually in the NFL, like 60% of the time, maybe 70% of the time, you don't ever turn out to be that guy. But I'm seeing a lot of fresh, young, excited sort of talent. And I like the feel of the defense. Like when I just watch them on TV, they get me going because I like where it's headed. They're creating turnovers. They're playing with an energy they didn't play with last year. They look dead in the water to me most of the time last year, especially when.
That I can agree. They are playing explosive. They are getting turnovers during this preseason. That is things that I like to see out there. And trust me, guys, this is just not us collectively drinking the Kool-Aid. I really think that this defense is entirely different, especially how they even play third down defense. Having Chris Richard playing his guys up close, tight on the line, that speaks volumes to as well. And then also the way that Joe Thomas, this linebacking core, to me personally, they stepped it up. And even Jalen Smith, not worrying about his knee or foot, flying out to the ball, covering the edge. I heard somebody say, well, wait a minute. One of the quarterbacks last game shook him out of his shoes. No, that's not the case nor the scenario. When you're talking about maybe one or two plays, but I'm talking about a total body of work. And I do know this only preseason, but this is the thing. The guy, Jalen Smith, is stepping it up, and we play so much nickel. And that's meaning that you only have two linebackers out there. I think that Jalen Smith will be able to still be the Mike in certain situations. And then on top of that, you sprinkle in a Joe Thomas if Sean Lee goes down. Man, it's hard for LVE to even get out there on the field. Now, one thing that I must add out there, this guy from, I want to say James, Derwin James, right? I guess he got picked up by the Chargers a little bit before us. That's my only thing. If we were able to move up in the draft and get him, oh my goodness, his defense would be furious. It would be something nasty because I think Derwin James already have one forced fumble during the preseason and 2 interceptions. And I think leading the tackles out there as far as the secondary on that team. So I can only imagine if this team would have just did something like that. But neither here nor there. We're going to listen to what more they have to say. This defense still looks nasty.
When Sean Lee wasn't in the game, which was for 6 games.
Right.
Is he going to stay healthy? You always say history says no, right? But Jalen Smith has arrived this year. He was a high first-round pick that they stole in the second round because he wrecked his knee the way nobody's ever wrecked their. It's one of those all-time knee injuries, and he looks like he's just about 100% back. And his brother's on the team, Rod Smith, who had a big game carrying the football the other night, and he said during the game on the sideline during the telecast, my brother's right now. He's okay. So that gives you he's a potential Pro Bowl player. So you have 2 potential, one proven Pro Bowl linebacker and the other one who could be. And then DeMarcus, again, is he Charles Haley? He's not. But was he really good last year?
Right.
He was really good.
We just need to see a bigger body of work. We saw 1 year, but just a bigger body of work.
David Irving, who you said is one of the largest human beings you've ever seen on a football field.
Barely
he
Irving.
Has monster potential. He's gone for the first 4 games. So they go out and got Dayton Jones. He was a former first-round pick for Green Bay.
Yeah.
And he wrecked his knee the other night. And they're not saying anything, but I think he's going to be gone for a while. It did not look good because he had to drag himself off the field. And then we look in the secondary, and they're just kids everywhere.
Yeah, so that's all of it right there. They was talking about pretty much the
Hall of Fame.
Leave face right there. Leave Rod face right there. So just a quick Q&A before I get ready to run off. Shout out to Buck Buell that's in the house. Dwayne. Shout out to you, Steven. Mac 23. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions on this. Buddy Johnson. Shout out to you too as well. Law Shannon Sharps is a Cowboys hater all day. Yeah, we all know that. On the Facebook panel, man, I appreciate you guys. David Moray, shout out to you. Keith Woody. If you're on the other platform, jump over to the Law Nations page. That's the only way I can read your comments. I apologize in advance for those who are on Phantom, EBSN Online, Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, and the Dallas Prospect. Every legend was once a prospect, guys. Everybody was once a prospect at one point or time. This is the thing. This defense can be top 10, top 5, top 2, top 3, whatever. Number one defense, yes, that's quite possible. You guys know that I always speak that thou should decree a thing and it shall be established. You should speak those things into its existence, but also have something tangible that you can see. The front four looking nice. As far as the edge, as far as D-Law, what he can do, Randy Gregory, what he can do, as well as the emergence of the growth of Taco, causing the forced fumble, also getting around, getting to the edge, and getting a sack too as well. Those are positive. Now, the linebacking core, remember, I always say this, depth speaks volumes, and I think that Joe Thomas was a major asset to us in the event if Sean Lee, the general, goes down, we have somebody that can be in place. Now, the reservation aspect, I'm cool with the cornerbacks. The Byron Jones playing promising, as well as Chidobe Awuzie, however his name is pronounced, as well as Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis is finding a hard time to get out there on the field, and he's like one of the top cornerbacks that was on the team last year, and he's having problems getting out there on the field. That means that everybody's playing aggressive. Everybody's fighting out to the ball. Yes, we have our reservations on Anthony Brown, but this is the other problem here too that we may have is the safety play. But can we slide free with Jeff Heath? Yes. Can we make it serviceable with Kevon Frazier? Yes. Now, we do know this one thing. After this game, I think it's before the final preseason game, they bring everybody down to 53-man roster, I think, or the last preseason game. There should be some top grade safeties out there that we can go out and pick. I think that the younger guys like the Tyree Robinson, they find ways to make this team. Number 37, they find ways. Cam Kelly, they'll find a way to make this team. And that will bring and elevate everybody on this team. And then if we can sprinkle in, because I'm not even worried about a J. Ron Johnson. I do know that we have our big reservations on him, but I'm not worried about that. What I'm saying is right now is that some way, somehow, that we're going to get our veteran guy. I'm not going to say number 29 is just going to be out there for the pluckings, but it may be. Make him be able to pluck him out of this Seattle Seahawks roster when the other guys are cut, and then they can just go out and get their replacement free safety, and we can go ahead and scoop up Earl Thomas, because nobody in the Seattle Seahawks locker room is saying, okay, all right, we're just going to wait for Earl Thomas to get back. No. It's already looked at it as like, hey, this guy has been everything for our team. Let's just go ahead and figure out a way to give him what he wants. It's not the fanciest move, but it may happen. I'm not saying, I'm just trying to put out there that the Cowboys are going to get Earl Thomas. I'm not speaking that, but what I'm saying is we're going to get a veteran safety one way or another. This is what I'm believing. Herc, shout out to you too as well. Produced by Jay. What's going on later, Law? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Crimson God 23, Dak and Zeke done for the preseason. Yes, they are. According to Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett, all those guys saying that they are done, which is cool. I'm not happy with it. I don't agree with it, but just like a family member, you don't have to agree with everything, right? So with that being said, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, get the like button, just hit it, Hawk Rage, smash that like button if possible. Share this content. That's the best thing that you can help me out with, is just sharing this content throughout all of the platforms that you have out there, and that will help me out tremendously. And also, don't forget to join the Law Nation podcast if you're driving around, flying out of town, and you still want to hear me and see me and all this good stuff. Just type in on your podcast LAW Nation, and you should see some of the content that I provide out there. As far as film breakdown, film sessions, yes, you can do requests under the Patreon. Join the Patreon. It's only $1 a month. It's not a lot. You can ask Grandma and them, Pookie and Ray for 4 quarters. They can help you out, and that will help me out. So join the Patreon, Laws Nations or Law Nation. You can find that Patreon link down in the description box, or you can just go to Patreon and type in Law Nation. You should see my face or my logo too, as well as there. I really appreciate all you guys for tuning in It's always a pleasure. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Let's roll out. Yeah. I'm out.